Has everybody seen the movie Big Fish? Big Fish?
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Okay, essentially, the story of this father, these stories sound like they're the most unbelievable thing you have ever heard. And as a child, you're like, no, that couldn't really happen. One of them, for example, is he told me that in the Congo or maybe Nigeria, that him, it might have been him and Flair, or him and Blackjack Mulligan, they're having this match, and that the military is storming over the field to the country is in the middle of a coup, and they're storming over the field in the middle of their match, and they're seeing it go on, and there's tear gas being thrown, and it just sounds like come on, like
right.
There's not a war happening while you and Blackjack Mulligan are wrestling in the ring,
like while the match is happening.
And he said, but then the tear gas stopped, and you saw the soldiers just lined up in the backside because it was just like a big soccer field that they were on. You saw them, and they're just watching the show. I thought, okay, like, nah, that's not a real thing. So fast forward, we're at a motivational speech my dad gave in Vegas, and at the end of the speech, they opened up to Q&A. This guy stands up in the back. This is the deepest, like, African, like, dialect and accent that I've ever heard, and he just starts crying, and I'm watching this, and I'm thinking, what's happening? He goes, I was there, and you saved me, and you saved my family, and I think you and Blackjack saved the country. What? And I'm just like I'm taking in every feature of this man because I'm like, I need to ask him directly after this event. Who are you? and what how is this a real thing? And that was one of the things that's why I like hearing people's stories, because I noticed so many of the stories are true.
Right.
Do you, like, for example, do you know what a flying colonel is?
I don't know what a flying colonel is.
So I think I'm all big shot. I'm a 1,000,000-miler on Delta. And at my age, I thought that's a pretty good deal. If you ever, like, the movie Up in the Air, that's wrestling, essentially. Let's compare our rewards programs and where we're at. And
by the way, I love your education for film. There are so many wrestlers that I talk to that have just let movies pass them by.
Oh,
like
no.
They just haven't seen any of them.
No, Up in the Air, it's worth it. Please see it. But my dad is flying to Sacramento with WWE to do a show that I begged him to do with me and Rey Mysterio. I begged him to do it. And he says I upgraded him to first class because they weren't flying him first class, which was a super gripe I had. I upgraded him to first class with my miles. And he goes, oh, you didn't need to do that? I'm a flying colonel. And I was like, whatever. And me and my
so do you have that relationship when he goes, I'm a flying colonel? You're like, okay, Dad. Whatever.
Yeah, no, I didn't believe it
Yeah.
because me and my CPA we're all sitting, all three of us sitting together, and he's telling me I'm diamond, you're diamond. Oh, that sucks, Dusty, that you lost all your status. You know, what do you know? You don't have the status because you're not flying so much because you do lose your status. And I'm thinking flying colonel because I know I follow this Delta map to a T. It's silver, gold, platinum, diamond. That's it. You can be a 1,000,000-miler, but those are the statuses. There's nothing else. That's it. And here's what you're afforded with each one, because that's a big part of being on the road. And he goes, oh, I'm a flying colonel. Me and my CPA, we literally laugh at him. We laugh in his face. Fast forward to this flight. We're getting on Sacramento. I've upgraded him to first class, which we go to board. Scans his boarding pass in front of me. And the lady's taking his boarding pass. She goes, oh, I got to take care of you. And my dad goes, that's right. And I'm thinking, what's the situation here? and she's like, there's only 13 of you left, you know. And I'm thinking, what are we talking about? So we get on the plane, and I said, was that like a red coat thing? Because back in the day, the Delta red coats, they used to know a lot of the wrestlers really well. He goes, no. Slides his boarding pass to me. Right where it's supposed to say Mileage Elite Plus. It says his number, and it says Flying Colonel. And there were only 13 living at the time. It was the original rewards program for Delta. It does not exist. They just still print it on the boarding pass, and I kept the boarding pass because
that's amazing.
It was that tends to be everything. As I meet fans and meet people who knew him, I'm blown away. Too many of the stories were true.
It's